So, seat of authority. What does sovereignty really mean? And I've been feeling into this a lot because in my work and my personal journey, like I've had these experiences of being shown that this path that seems to be unfolding for me is to come into my own sovereignty, that freedom, this seat of authority. And we can think about in our outside world, right? You look at governments, you look at corporations or whatever, there's always a head, the head of state, the CEO, right? That thing that's in charge, that person, the human, an entity. And we look to the external, and that's very normal, right? We've been told these are the people who have leadership skills. They're qualified to lead. On this journey, though, you're going to begin to discover that, or maybe you already know this, right? That we've been lied to. There's been mind control. And so that head of state, right? Who has been in control of our minds, of your mind? Think of consumption, right? Our food, the things we watch, the stories, the beliefs that have been instilled in us, because where did they come from? They came from somewhere. They came from stories. They were created. But how do we know that they're true? And so if you're feeling like out of control and you're feeling disempowered, take a step back and really look at who is sitting on the throne within. Are you actually sitting in your throne? And have you taken that seat? It's not an easy journey, and many of us would maybe say, yes, I have. But when you go deeper, a lot of times that's a control. Yeah, I'm in control. I'm making these decisions. But if we do not clear out all of the noise, the stories, and deconstruct the stories of civilizations, of times, right? Of what's really happening. Because oftentimes, like in corporations, right? The CEO has all of this power and they're making all of these moves, and yet they don't know all the people down at the bottom, but they have people who have people. But they seem to know, right? And people tend to follow, or they get upset at the leader. Same with like somebody that's in political leadership, because it's an external thing. But in your spiritual journey, in this journey of awakening, I'm realizing like we can find the seat of authority within us. And for me, it's being guided there. I'm not there yet, but I can feel that. And I feel that by coming more into my body, clearing out and deconstructing more of the stories, letting go of the emotions, realizing none of it is mine. So none of those thoughts, none of the stories, none of the beliefs, until you come to your own truth, until you have really taken, and you tell me, like, if there is fear in our body that we haven't cleared, if there is doubt, if there is lack, we're on our way. We'll get there. But we're not fully there yet, because we still have other noise. We have this somebody else, this other mind control. These beliefs are still in there that are running the show. And there's so many distractions in the world. Television, our food's being poisoned. The way that energy is passed in and brought into our energetic bodies that we're only beginning to discover. It's like you are a king or a queen, or whatever you want to say, right? An emperor, whatever the archetype is, that has this beautiful fucking castle, all of this benevolent, loving power, an ability to create, an ability to shift and change and to serve. But we don't even know we're in our own castles. We didn't even realize that there's a throne. We thought and have been told that we're in control, and that, you know, when you do these things, that's control. And when you force things and when you really effort, that oh, you're taking control of life. And we're told, that, especially in this country of the United States, that freedom, this is the place of freedom. But I ask you, do you feel free in your body? Does your body really feel free? Does your mind feel free? Because if it doesn't, then we're not there yet. And this is a journey of understanding that we need to deconstruct stories. We do not need to perpetuate fear. We don't need to perpetuate lack. None of those things are, when you really feel into that in your body, you know that it doesn't feel right. Because you know it's not the truth. It's not the way you were created. If you have your own castle and you were sitting in the seat of authority, would you espouse fear? If you were really in a place of love, if you really knew who you were, and you really understood all of what was taking place, you wouldn't perpetuate fear. You wouldn't perpetuate lack. You wouldn't perpetuate divide. So we're being guided back to our seat of authority, to that empowered state. And we really, if we desire that, we have to seek the truth. And that truth is really then allowing ourselves to peel back these layers and say, okay, I thought I knew all of this stuff. I thought I knew these stories. It's like the most common thing I always think about, because I was not raised celebrating any holidays. But I think about Santa, because I would see all these kids, right, in school, and they believed in Santa and all that. And the whole time I'm like, Santa's not fucking real. Like, that's not real. And they believed it, and they're all hyped up. And then most kids, when they find out, there's this great disappointment. That is just a minor example of how culturally, through religion, especially now consumerism around, the pumping what Christmas is, we believe in it. We tell people that this is what it is, knowing full damn well that the lie will be exposed. But we play it off as just a fun thing. But think about, as kids, what that instills in our brains. Unknowingly, unwittingly, we instill that one belief that, oh, that was a lie. So that wasn't true. And we go through our life starting to buy into stories. And unless somebody tells us they're a lie, unless we discovered ourselves, which most kids discover because somebody else tells them, or they catch the dad or the mom or the whomever, right? And they figure it out. But these other lies, these other stories are so intricate that we forget. And when we hear it from somebody else, we're like, no, that's not true. But there's a bigger perspective that we can step out of and feel in our body, not our mind. Our seat of authority is not in our mind. Where do you think the seat of authority is? Where do you think your sovereignty lies? In your heart. We're coming out of the mind back into the heart, into the body. So if thought form and beliefs and propaganda, news, our parents' stories, our religious stories, and there's nothing wrong if you find religion to be open and expansive and puts you in your heart, so be it, whatever it may be, right? But your seat of authority is in your heart. And if you're not feeling, and I've learned this, like if you're not feeling, you're not there yet, but you are on your way. You don't have to worry about it. You're being guided there. It's happening for you. And many of us resist that and fight it because that's a place most of us has never been. It's very tender. We don't understand it. We try to intellectualize it, and we've been told to intellectualize it. We've been told that our righteousness, our sovereignty, all of that is on the external. If you believe in Christ and Yeshua or any of these other great ascended beings, they were really showing us that everything is within. Not to follow them. If you're celebrating birthdays, Jesus himself said, do not celebrate my birth, celebrate my death. His death, we've been told, was on a stake. But that's a story. That was a story used to keep people on the external. How do we know that? If you begin to question and look at what he was really saying, there's real evidence and a real possibility that Jesus never died in that sense on the stake, right? What I'm curious about and what I wonder is, did Jesus actually allow his ego, allow all the matrices of beliefs and stories to fall away and to find his own seat of authority in his heart? And that is a death. It feels like death. Oh, I'm feeling it. You may be feeling it. Things wanting to die, wanting to release, wanting to be let go. And it's unnerving at times to see all the lies and then to break it down, and it can be overwhelming. So just, we don't have to force it. We can go slowly. But begin to open up with curiosity and wonder about, I wonder what the deeper meaning is. Does this feel right in my body? Am I in my seat of authority? And if we think we are, but it's in our head and we're thinking, then we're not. And if we have fear or any of those lowers, it's still there. And it's going to take us time, because there's so much being pumped at us to keep us out of here. That's the truth. If we had a population of humans in their heart, none of this. And it's not the money that they care about, whoever that they are. You could say it's a family, whatever, but there's an energy, right, that loves this control. It's won the money game. Money's boring now. There's so much of it, who cares? You can buy anything, right? But control, that's power. Manipulation, that's power. That's playing the game. And the one chess piece, the one move that energy never wants, and is doing its best to keep people distracted from, is people being in their bodies and in their heart and in that seat of authority. Because as soon as it's there, it's impenetrable. There is no control. The game is up. The game is up. This is a battle between the mind and the heart. Who's pumping in the energy? What are you allowing in here? What are the thoughts and beliefs that you're believing that are not even yours? And then we fear the emotion because it's new and we don't know how to express it or understand it, and our mind is trying to make sense of it instead of feeling it and realizing we're just meant to feel it. Our bodies are so much more than we're even aware of, and we're becoming more aware of. So this is a time to be gentle, to ask yourself continually with curiosity, what is my truth? Not here, not what other people say. You don't have to believe any of this that I'm telling you. You may be hearing it and thinking this is nuts, but tune into your body and see what it tells you. Does it feel right? Do you feel like there's a truth here within you, that you know you have a truth within that you're seeking? You do. You have your own unique truth and perspective that you are coming home to. Who wants the same fucking castle? I want to design my own. You design your own. I'll sit in mine and lovingly be like, oh, look at yours. That's so fucking cool. Oh, you did that? That's really cool. Why did you like that? What about that? Like, yeah. How fucking cool. We don't have to be like each other, but we can come to a deeper truth that there is something there's something deep in us that we are being called home to, and it's our body, and that's that throne, the throne within. And when somebody really takes their throne, like a Jesus, right, or any of that, it's in love and in service. And that's why we look to that as such an example, but you have it within. Remember, you are love at the core, right here. Much love.